Bryson Barnes described this offense as like a quarterback's best friend.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the Utes now. First, what we want to talk about is with the departure of Jason Beck, who is following head coach Whittingham to Michigan. Coach Scalleys summons the Utah State OC, Kevin McGiven, to the Utes as the new offensive coordinator. He is a 25-year vet, brings 17 seasons Division I experience, combined between offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coaching to this Utah team. Last year, as we mentioned, he was with Utah State. He served as Utah State's offensive coordinator, helping quarterback Bryson Barnes, the old pig farmer himself,
Absolutely
achieve 2,500 passing yards and 700 plus rushing yards as well. Another one of his previous seasons was in 2024. He was the passing games coordinator and the wide receiver coach at San Jose State, where he coached Nick Nash. He is a redshirted senior who was named first-team All-American, leading the nation, AJ, in receptions, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns with 104 catches for 1,382 yards with 16 touchdowns.
That's pretty impressive.
That's a pretty good. It's a pretty good resume there. You know, being a coach behind these talented young players.
Yeah, no,
we love to see it.
It absolutely is, and he actually. So Steve Bartle, KSL, actually interviewed Bryson Barnes, and they were specifically talking about what Utah's getting with the new offensive coordinator, Kevin McGiven, and Bryson Barnes just absolutely ranted and raved about this guy. I mean, he talked a lot about how he's like totally a jokester and he's always joking around, having fun with the guys, but this guy knows his stuff. Pretty cool to see, like when you start looking at his offensive philosophy. I spent probably an hour and a half just going over like game highlights from Utah State and just kind of trying to get an idea of what this offense is going to look like when the offense takes off this year. So this is a West Coast style offense. They do their big time high flying. The quarterback's going to be working through the progressions. I mean, lots of air raid principles. And this guy does a lot of personnel switching to just continuously confuse defenses. That's his whole thing. Bryson Barnes kind of described this offense as like a quarterback's best friend. He says he's got a check system in place that allows you to make changes right on the field. He gives a lot of freedom to his quarterback. So when I hear this, like this style of offense, it actually makes me think a lot of the Jason Beck offense. Okay. And how it's really versatile. They use every angle of the field. The big thing about Kevin McGiven is he's going to make sure that he's utilizing his best players as much as possible, just like the Jason Beck offense did. This is a passing first offense. Like that's who McGiven is. It's always pass first. The reason he does that is because he zooms in on teaching his quarterbacks how to attack certain defensive schemes. So he says, you see these guys lined up here, you've got a weak spot here because this linebacker has to go up there. Like that is his whole thing, is he locks in on teaching quarterbacks how to beat defensive schemes. So it sounds like it's going to be a passing first offense. That was what I saw. These guys throw the ball a lot, but he's always going to be putting the ball into playmakers' hands. This is going to be really fun. And the biggest thing is this guy generates explosive plays. That's Kevin McGiven offense. He wants to get the big plays. He's going to take shots down the field. He's going to set up schemes where it might be a trick play and you're going to try to break off 60. We saw that a lot. We saw that a lot last year in the Jason Beck offense. We have good offensive line guys. We got some good ones coming back. Check out our video last week where we reviewed the whole offense. There was some offensive line talk in there. We've got some great pieces to bring back. And then you think of players who might excel in this offense. The first one for me that comes to mind is going to be Wayshawn Parker. Okay. I mean, if your whole goal is to put the ball in your best offensive player's hands, Wayshawn Parker is that guy. Again, we talked about it last week. He's just one of the most talented players on the field anytime he's out there. He's explosive. He's got a ton of speed. He's elusive. He can block. He can catch the ball out of the outfield. Anywhere you can put this guy, he is going to help. And I think that could lead to a really good year for Wayshawn Parker. Another player that I think could have a really good season under McGiven, my guy, Bird Ficklin, man.
Nice.
Like, he's just great speed. He has great decision making. There's that guy that's great at just skipping back and forth and making a good run and hitting it. So last but not least is going to be obviously Devin Dampier.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. That was kind of the piece that I wanted to question there. Do you think that there was a conversation with Devin Dampier regarding the recruiting process to keep him to stay here? When his offensive coordinator went to Michigan with Woods, you'd think that he would also go with them as well, but he chose to stay here. And I'm thinking that Morgan Scalleys his coaching philosophy, his coaching style, he's going to be a little bit more like you mentioned, a little bit more open to the passing first type option, which we always heard, 50-50. The pass game opens up, the run game opens up the pass game, blah, 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 right? But you always knew, and with offense, that it was never going to be pass first.
Nope.
It's going to be run heavy. It's just how it is. And then if you run into a bit of trouble, then they'll try to open it up and throw a Hail Mary pass, what it seemed to always be like.
Yeah.
In this case, what I'm thinking is that with you were talking about in the Vegas Bowl, we were starting to see a little bit more of that, right? A little bit more of the passing being an option. Do you think that was a big piece to that when Morgan Scalleys became the head coach and then picked Kevin McGiven to be his offensive coordinator? Do you think that was some of the pitch that kept our guy Devin Dampier here?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely some of the pitch, because Kyle Whittingham's always run first, control the tempo of the game, get your defense off the field, chew up some clock, get these guys some time to rest defensive first. And I don't think that's going to go away. I think Scally's always going to be a defense first coach. That's who he is. That's his DNA, right? To answer your question, yes, guaranteed they had a conversation. And I think when Kevin McGiven was pitching this to Devin Dampier, there's very few quarterbacks in the NFL that have fantastic running seasons that even make the NFL, let alone last long enough to play. Right? The NFL, the players are too big, too fast, too strong. Devin Dampier is not a huge guy. What he's got to showcase is his arm talent. So by bringing in a pass first, even if it went 60-40 passing, and Devin Dampier gets a chance to throw the ball down the field more, it's going to help him a ton. It's going to help his chance at going to the league. It's going to help his, those throwing numbers have to be pristine if you're going to be looked at in the NFL world. So I think that had a lot to do with his decision to stay, as well as I do think Devin Dampier does like the Morgan Scalleys defense first, because before he came to Utah, he was talking in one of the interviews and he talked about how it would be really nice to have a defense. Not that going to Michigan, you wouldn't have that because they're some of the best players in the world, right? College players, you're going to have the best talent there. But I think he came to appreciate the Morgan Scalleys coaching scheme and playing in practice against such good defenses. I think they were always testing him. I think he looks forward to the challenge of staying here. I don't know, man. I think this is going to be such a fun season. It's going to be awesome. I mean, the more I watched Utah State tape, the more I was like, this offense is really cool. They do run a lot of trick stuff. They do run a lot of you're always taking the defense's eyes somewhere else and then, going the other way. And Barnes picked it up really fast. And it gives me a lot of hope that, we have a quarterback that was in a very similar system last year. And as far as, using the RPO, and I think it's going to be awesome.
No, I agree. I look forward to it. It's going to be very interesting to see because, again, what we're looking for this year is not only for them to establish an identity, but do so while still competing for the conference. So love to see it. As a reminder, we did just start a channel specifically for your University of Utah Football Club. We have Utah Football DNA. This is a channel we specifically designed dedicated to all your Utah football content. All of our content for the Utes will be posted here first. So if you have not yet, make sure you check it out in the description down below. It's all of our content for the Utes will be posted there, and it's a dedicated channel for your Utah Utes. So be sure to check it out in the description down below. Smash that like button for your boy AJ. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of our Ute content.
Absolutely.